what is going on in our market. Oh my gosh, we got lots of updates for you in this month's market report. This is Mike Novak from the Novak Real Estate Team, part of Real Brokerage, and I'm bringing you our February market report. I'm going to share with you, like I do every single month, the key stats that you need to know as a buyer, as a seller, or just a curious homeowner. At the end of this, I'm going to share with you what this means for you if you're actively trying to buy a house or if you're thinking about selling, so you can make a most informed decision and know what you're doing. So first of all, the average sales price, $758,000, down 1%, very token decrease from the same time last year. New listings down about 11%. So there's less new homes coming on than there was the same time last year. The reason for that, I'll explain to you later at the end of this video, but it directly connects back to interest rates and sellers not wanting to list their house if they don't have a big pain point to move. Next one, homes for sale, up about 171% from this time last year, but that number has come down drastically since November and December of 2022. Days on market, how long does it take to sell a home once it comes on the market? It's about 44 days right now. It's about a 200% increase from the same time last year. Still pretty dang fast though, and we're starting to see a lot of listings sell in 5 to 10 days when they come on the market, if they are priced right and if they're in the right location as well. Months of inventory supply. How long would it take to sell every home that's on the market right now if no other homes came on? Well, we're at 0.9 months of inventory. It is official, guys. We're back below a month of inventory supply. We briefly went up to about a month and a half at the end of last year, but that has changed after the holidays. Lots of buyers have come back out, and that's resulting in inventory coming down very, very quickly. It's still more than it was at this time last year, but we are all feeling the impacts of a very low inventory market yet once again. List price to sales price ratio is 98.4%, but I believe that once we close out all the pendings we have right now, the numbers are going to be much closer to 100%. We just have seen a big shift in the market since the first of the year. We've been watching this since we rounded the New Year's day, basically. What was a very sleepy market at the end of last year in October, November, December has bursted to life in the last 8 weeks or so. I'm not saying this is the new norm for the market, but it has been very interesting to watch. A lot of the buyers that seemed to press pause last year amidst all of the interest rate uncertainty have re-entered the market now, much like I thought they might. I shared this in one of the market videos before, and all of a sudden there's a big demand for houses yet again. So if you're a buyer, this is what you need to know. Like I said, inventory is dropping fast, and that's going to impact you as a buyer. When inventory drops, prices go up. It's that simple. It's the oldest economic principle in the book, right? Limited inventory means prices going up. Supply and demand, right? Super basic stuff there. We thought inventory would keep rising, but instead it has dropped. And I want to shout this from the mountaintops because a lot of people don't know this is happening yet. And it's something you have to be aware of if you're a buyer or if you're a seller in the market. Some of the other signs we're seeing of increased competition. Well, we've got offer review dates back in some cases. We have some price escalations going on, not like $150,000 of list price, but we have seen some 5% to 7% escalations in the last month or so. We've seen some inspection contingencies waived again, like we saw about 1.5 years or 2 years ago. So your inspection strategy matters again now as a buyer. And then just some multiple offers, like I said. So those are some things that we saw a couple years ago. Those were the norm a couple years ago. And some of those things have come back to life here in the last month or so. My analysis, guys, November, December was the bottom of the market last year. And because inventory keeps dropping, prices are going to go up this year. I think we're going to be in for 5 to 10% increase this year. If you're waiting for the market to go down, that was last year. So this is the time to go if you're trying to buy. Stop thinking the market's going to drop. It's not going to drop when inventory keeps decreasing. It's just that simple, guys. So I would love to tell you it's going to go down, that you can get a better deal if you wait 6 months, but that is not the reality. In fact, the closer we get to summer, the lower I think interest rates are going to go, which is going to also increase the demand as well. So the other variable we've seen for buyers that you just need to be aware of is that there's been a little bit of, well, not a little bit, there's been quite a bit of interest rate volatility in the last month or so. The interest rate shot up about 1.5% over that period of time. And the reason why is it looks like inflation is higher than what the Federal Reserve was anticipating. And so they're trying to, consider different ways to temper that inflation risk to the economy. So They haven't come out and said exactly what they're going to do yet, but the markets are anticipating that rates could go up, which is why you see interest rates starting to go up in the mortgage market. So remember, the mortgage market rates and the Federal Reserve raising the cost of borrowing are not directly connected, but there is some correlations there to the T-bond, okay? If you're going to buy in this market, first of all, your timing absolutely matters. Now is the time to go. Do not wait for June, July when interest rates drop lower, because you're going to have even more competition. I can see it coming, and you don't want to be in the middle of that. The second thing, you need to make sure you have a game plan together, and you need to have a strategy on how you're going to buy a house in this market. There's so many misconceptions in what's happening right now. People that are not looking at the data or the facts, they're not actively involved in the real estate market on a day-to-day basis like we are, and that misinformation is not helping anybody. You need a plan. You need a strategy if you're going to buy a house in this market. Sit down with your agent. Get that game plan together before you even start thinking about touring houses. That is step one, okay? Sit down with your agent, get a game plan together on exactly what it's gonna take to buy a home, what that process looks like, what's happening in the market, and what your list of must-haves are to buy a home, okay? On the sell side, well, with decreased inventory, that's good for you as a seller. It means directly less competition, but the closer we get to spring, the more inventory we know is going to come on. That happens every year from March to about the end of May. So you as a seller, timing matters for you as well. If you wait till middle of spring, you can expect to have a lot more competition than you may have right now. In a lot of markets, there's maybe 3 or 4 listings in certain price ranges. Come spring, that could be 10 or 15. So just be aware of that increased competition as you get closer to the true spring market, okay? The biggest pain point right now for sellers, and this is why I mentioned the inventory is really low on houses and new listings, is because a lot of sellers have a historically low interest rate on their home. If you have an interest rate in your home that starts with a 2 or a 3, those may be the lowest rates you will see in our lifetime. I don't have a crystal ball on rates, but that really has no precedent for it, okay? So those are the lowest rates we've ever seen. They've been around for like 10 years, but if you have that rate, it's really hard to justify making a move. I totally understand that, right? You're looking at going from like a 2.5% rate to maybe a 6% rate. So as a seller, you have to have a big pain point and a lot of motivation to want to sell and have that big shift in your interest rate for what you've got right now. That dynamic, guys, is going to play a huge factor in our market, and it's going to continue to suppress our inventory supply. Sellers just have to have a big desire and a big pain point to want to make a move when they've got that historically low interest rate to go to a more normalized interest rate like what we have right now. This is going to be a very interesting year to watch in real estate. I couldn't be more excited about it. It's awesome to see the signs of life that have come around since the beginning of January. If you've got questions about this market, about what your house could be worth, about what it's going to take to buy a home in the current market and how to do that successfully, reach out to me. I'd love to be a resource for you.